Hello FIGGIE fiends and collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Star Wars The Black Series figure review. Today we're going to have a look at a figure from the Archive collection of figures. Basically this is an assortment of re-releases with slight repaints and touch-ups and adjustments. The figure that we are going to be having a look at is none other than Commander Cody, of which was released a couple of years back. I missed out on him because this was during the period when he was released where I said to myself, I'm not going to go for prequel characters, I'm just going to be purely focused on original trilogy. And now obviously I pretty much pick up anything that Hasbro will chuck at me in terms of Black Series. So here we are people, we finally have a Commander Cody in my collection, which I'm really stoked about. There are probably a couple of paint variations from the first edition to this version, but I can't really tell you that because I don't own the other one. Let's have a look at the figure at face value and this release effectively. Here's the packaging. This is of course the standard Archive style. It's not the big standard Black Series blocky box. Effectively like any other standard sort of action figure card back, just with the card and the bubble. Nothing too fancy schmancy about it. You've got the picture of the character itself there by Gregory Titus. A couple of people have commented saying that the helmet seems to be modelled off of the Clone Wars cartoon style. Just looking at the card back here, you've got Clone Commander Cody going on the spine there, Archive there, Star Wars The Black Series, and the 50th anniversary of LucasFilm, which a lot of products this year are probably going to have on their packaging just as a celebration of it. Of course you got the bubble where the figure would sit with all its accessories. Then on the back, because there's nothing really going on the sides, got a nice picture of the character, a bit of a bio, and then the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm timeline. Quite interestingly, they've highlighted Clone Wars and Rebels, and underneath it talks about celebrating characters from that. I mean, for me, the figure itself seems more modelled off of the Revenge of the Sith, how Cody appears in that. So I'm not really sure there, to be perfectly honest with you, but it would have made more sense if they'd highlighted Revenge of the Sith and had a blurb about that. Not a biggie. Anyway, you've got a ton of legal garb at the bottom. That's the packaging out the way and done with. Let's take a look at the figure itself. I like it for the most part. There are a couple of little gripes that I will get into in the review, and some things that I think they could have maybe tweaked or included to make it better, just to elevate value for money more than anything. Just because this is a straight up re-release, which I think you should bear in mind. So here we have Commander Cody looking very cute. Cody's probably one of my favourite Clone Trooper designs and colourings, and he is one of the OGs. If we have a look round at some of the details on his armour, you've got his jetpack on the back there. Unfortunately that isn't removable, it's glued in. I think the helmet paint application and details are absolutely spot on, looks absolutely fantastic. Then on his arm here you've got the copper band with a weird little doodad attached to it. Some lovely lining, which has been scratched and marked up to make it look as if it's been weathered. I think that's one of my biggest gripes about this figure, is just it looks too clean, and it just kind of looks weird with all the scratches and marks on it because of how clean it looks, and especially with the actual indentations in the armour. I think this would have benefited more so from a bit of a wash, just to make it look a bit more grubby. If we continue down, you've got that lining continuing on, just really nice paint apps, no real smudges or goofs there, just looks really clean. So, like with all clones, I never really have that much to say about them. But I think for this Cody, I think great that they've re-released it because people were wanting that, but I do think they should have included some additional accessories just as an additional incentive. Interchangeable heads, just so you could have it without the helmet on. Maybe a Emperor Palpatine hologram so you can do the Execute Order 66, but no, you don't get that. Instead you just get the typical blasters that they always pack in with these clone troopers, and nothing really to tie it down to sort of like a scene specific thing, which is a little bit unfortunate. I do think Commander Cody is one of those that just something else to add to it would have made it desirable for collectors, and maybe made some collectors who already own it want to get it again. But that's just my thoughts. And something else I almost forgot to mention, I like how you can have him with his pointy finger, so he can give orders to his clones and stuff. which is kind of cool. Articulation you can't fault either really. He's got a ball jointed head on a ball hinge, so you can have him look in a whole manner of different ways. Ball jointed shoulders, swivel at the top of the bicep, double hinged elbows, ball jointed wrist, ball jointed torso, ball jointed hips, swivels at the top of the thigh, double hinged knees, and ball jointed ankles with rocker joints. So this uses the original Clone Trooper sculpt. You know, it looks great and it still does match up with the new one, so there's no real gripes there. So overall, yeah, I really like it. Again, just wish it did include some little additional things, although it does seem like Hasbro are a little bit shy and penny pinching when it comes to giving us accessories. And I think it's slightly disappointing in a case like this where it is effectively a re-release. I'd also like to say, because we do have this sculpt, I really want to see a Commander Vaughn, because it's basically Commander Cody just with them blue 501st markings. I really hope Hasbro does that, just to add to my ranks for the Siege of Mandalore. But if you are a bit crafty, you could probably repaint this quite easily to match that. That kind of makes it tempting for me to buy another one, to be honest. But nonetheless, Commander Cody. Try to keep this one short but sweet, because again, it's a clone trooper. I've never really got much to say about clones. They're just, they are what they are to me. But I'm really pleased to have this guy in my collection. I love the coloration of the orange and the white. That's Commander Cody. I'm pleased that Hasbro have re-released him. So be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And this is me, Daniel East 1000, signing out, and thank you very much for watching.